15 alcoholic drinks most linked to cancer. Shocking facts revealed. You might think that having a drink now and then is harmless. But what if your favorite beverage is quietly damaging your body from the inside? Every sip of alcohol, even in moderation, carries hidden risks, and some drinks are far more dangerous than you realize. Research shows that alcohol is a leading factor in cancers of the liver, breast, mouth, throat, and digestive system. Today, I'll reveal the 15 alcoholic beverages most strongly linked to cancer, so you can make safer choices before it's too late. Watch closely. This information could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. 1. Beer, light and mass-produced lager. Beer may feel harmless, but its ethanol content metabolizes into acetaldehyde, a powerful carcinogen. Studies have linked regular beer drinking to cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, and liver. Mass-produced lagers often contain nitrosamines, which are DNA-damaging compounds that increase cancer risk. Even moderate daily consumption raises long-term risks, especially in combination with smoking. Dark beers have slightly higher ethanol content, making the risk even more significant. Choosing lighter beer doesn't remove the danger. Ethanol itself is the main problem. Beer also contributes to inflammation and oxidative stress in the body, two factors that promote cancer development. Chronic beer drinkers often experience liver stress, which can lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer. Alcohol also interferes with nutrient absorption, weakening your body's natural defenses. Over time, repeated exposure to acetaldehyde can permanently damage cells. Even occasional binge drinking can have cumulative effects. The longer you drink beer without moderation, the higher your overall cancer risk. 2. Red wine. Red wine contains antioxidants like resveratrol, but the ethanol content outweighs any protective effects. Frequent consumption is linked to breast, oral, and esophageal cancers. Alcohol promotes DNA damage and hormone disruption, which is particularly concerning for women. Sweet varieties of red wine add sugar, increasing insulin levels and inflammation. Heavy red wine drinkers are at an elevated risk for hormone-related cancers. Even enjoying a glass a day can subtly increase long-term risk. Red wine also increases acetaldehyde exposure, a toxic byproduct of alcohol metabolism. Over time, this can impair the repair mechanisms of your cells. Drinking socially may seem safe, but cumulative effects are real and dangerous. Combining red wine with smoking drastically multiplies cancer risk. Even antioxidants like polyphenols cannot neutralize the harmful effects of alcohol. Awareness and moderation are crucial to lowering these risks. 3. White wine. White wine may appear lighter than red, but it carries similar ethanol-related risks. Studies show strong links between white wine consumption and breast, oral, and digestive cancers. It contains fewer antioxidants than red wine, offering less protection for your cells. Sweetened white wines can spike blood sugar, further promoting inflammation. Frequent drinking increases acetaldehyde exposure, elevating DNA damage. Even occasional indulgence can accumulate risk over time. White wine is often paired with meals, which can encourage higher consumption. The combination of alcohol and sugar creates an environment conducive to tumor development. Chronic drinkers may experience liver stress, increasing vulnerability to liver cancer. Regular intake also impairs nutrient absorption, weakening natural defenses. The perception of white wine as healthy often leads to underestimated risk. Limiting consumption is the safest approach to protect your health. If this information is helping you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more life-saving health tips. Share this with someone you care about. Alcohol-related cancer risk is often underestimated. 4. Spirits, whiskey, vodka, gin, tequila, rum. Hard liquors are highly concentrated sources of ethanol, raising blood alcohol levels quickly. Frequent consumption is linked to mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, and colon cancers. Mixing spirits with sugary drinks adds obesity-related risks, which also contribute to cancer. Long-term heavy drinkers of spirits show the highest cancer rates among alcohol users. Ethanol itself is the main culprit. damaging DNA and impairing cell repair. Drinking spirits in excess accelerates the progression of alcohol-related cancers. Spirits are often consumed quickly in shots, leading to acute ethanol exposure. This sudden intake overloads the liver's ability to detoxify, producing higher acetaldehyde levels. Over time, DNA damage accumulates, making cancer more likely. Regular consumption affects hormone balance and inflammation, further increasing risk. Even a social habit of spirits can have long-term consequences. Being mindful of quantity and frequency is essential to reducing harm. Fortified wines, sherry, port, vermouth. Fortified wines are high in ethanol because extra alcohol is added during production. This increases acetaldehyde exposure and the risk of mouth, throat, and digestive cancers. Many fortified wines are sweet, which can spike blood sugar and promote inflammation. Frequent consumption can easily lead to overconsumption due to palatability. Chronic drinkers may experience liver stress, impairing detoxification. Even moderate intake contributes to cumulative cancer risk over time. The combination of alcohol and residual sugar in fortified wines accelerates cell damage. Over time, DNA mutations can accumulate, leading to tumor formation. Drinking fortified wine socially may seem harmless, but long-term effects are real. Even antioxidants present in wine cannot counteract the ethanol-induced carcinogenic effects. Awareness and moderation remain crucial. Reducing frequency and quantity is the most effective strategy. By now, you're probably realizing that some of your favorite drinks are far more dangerous than you imagined. Every sip counts, and even casual drinking can quietly increase cancer risk. It's time to rethink what's in your glass. 6. Liqueur, sweet alcoholic drinks. Liqueurs contain both sugar and high ethanol, creating a dangerous combination. Frequent consumption is linked to mouth, throat, and breast cancers. Obesity from sugary drinks indirectly increases the risk of other cancers. Many liqueurs contain artificial chemicals that can worsen oxidative stress. Sweet taste encourages overconsumption, increasing acetaldehyde exposure. Even small drinks over time can add up to significant cancer risk. Liqueurs are often consumed as after-dinner drinks, which can lead to repeated exposure. Chronic intake can impair liver function, promoting liver cancer. Sugar increases inflammation, further accelerating tumor formation. Many people underestimate the cumulative risk of sweet alcoholic drinks. DNA repair mechanisms are disrupted by repeated alcohol exposure. Being mindful of intake frequency is essential to reduce long-term harm. 7. Sake, Japanese rice wine. Sake is high in ethanol, elevating acetaldehyde levels. Chronic consumption is linked to esophageal, liver, and stomach cancers. Traditional brewing may leave residual compounds that slightly increase risk. Alcohol content varies, so moderation is critical. Drinking sake often with meals may encourage higher intake. Risk multiplies when combined with smoking or other carcinogens. Over time, repeated exposure to ethanol and acetaldehyde can impair DNA repair. Even culturally healthy alcoholic beverages like sake are not exempt from cancer risks. Chronic drinkers may experience liver stress, weakening detoxification pathways. DNA mutations accumulate with frequent exposure. Sweet varieties can spike insulin, promoting inflammation. Limiting frequency and portion size is the safest approach. 8. Cider, especially sweet varieties. Cider is often underestimated due to its fruity taste, but ethanol and sugar content increase cancer risk. Regular consumption is linked to breast, oral, and esophageal cancers. Sweet ciders spike insulin and inflammation, creating conditions conducive to tumor growth. Even moderate intake can add up over time. Perceived as natural, cider often leads to overconsumption. Chronic use can impair liver function and cell repair. Sugar in cider compounds ethanol damage, accelerating DNA mutations. Regular drinkers may experience cumulative risk without realizing it. Even occasional binge drinking can be dangerous. Over time, the risk of hormone-related cancers increases. Awareness and moderation are essential to protect long-term health. Choosing alcohol-free alternatives can dramatically reduce risk. 9. Cocktails, mixed drinks with alcohol. Cocktails often combine multiple alcohol types with sugary mixers, compounding risks. Frequent consumption is linked to breast and digestive tract cancers. Ingredients like syrups, juices, and artificial flavors increase oxidative stress in the body. Hidden ethanol levels can lead to overconsumption. Binge-style cocktail drinking is particularly harmful. Long-term exposure accelerates DNA damage and tumor formation. Social drinking with cocktails may feel harmless, but sugar and alcohol synergy is dangerous. Acetaldehyde accumulation is high in mixed drinks due to rapid intake. Chronic cocktail drinkers may experience liver and hormonal stress. Even moderate consumption over years can increase cancer risk. Awareness of alcohol content and portion size is essential. Opting for low alcohol or alcohol-free alternatives is a safer choice. 10. Home-brewed or illegally distilled alcohol moonshine. Home-brewed or illegal spirits often have extremely high ethanol content and toxic byproducts like methanol. Consumption is strongly linked to liver, esophageal, and stomach cancers. Lack of quality control increases carcinogenic contaminants. Long-term use drastically raises cumulative cancer risk. High ethanol concentration alone is enough to damage DNA. Drinking these beverages carries unpredictable and severe risks. Moonshine can overwhelm the liver's detoxification ability in a single drink. Chronic exposure accelerates acetaldehyde damage. Homemade alcohol may also contain heavy metals or other toxins. Repeated intake creates an environment conducive to tumor growth. Even occasional consumption can be dangerous if toxicity is high. Avoiding unregulated alcohol entirely is the safest approach. 11. Flavored malt beverages. Alcopops, hard lemonade. Flavored malt beverages are high in sugar and ethanol, creating a dangerous synergy. Regular consumption is linked to breast, oral, and digestive tract cancers. Sweet taste encourages overconsumption, especially among young adults. Hidden ethanol levels make it easy to drink more than intended. Chronic intake contributes to obesity, indirectly raising cancer risk. Even light versions carry measurable long-term risks. Frequent drinking of alcopops can also impair liver function. Sugar promotes inflammation and tumor growth. The combination of alcohol and additives further damages cells. Binge drinking these beverages is particularly harmful. Awareness and moderation are critical to reduce long-term effects. Choosing non-alcoholic or low-sugar alternatives is much safer. 12. Mead, honey wine. Mead combines alcohol with honey, increasing acetaldehyde exposure and insulin-related effects. Chronic consumption is linked to digestive tract and liver cancers. Sweetness can encourage excessive drinking. Residual toxins from traditional brewing can slightly increase risk. Even natural mead cannot neutralize ethanol's carcinogenic effects. Frequent intake leads to cumulative DNA damage over time. Mead is often consumed in large sips, which accelerates ethanol absorption. Repeated exposure damages liver cells and impairs detoxification. Chronic mead drinkers may develop inflammation-related cancers. Hormonal disruptions are also possible with long-term intake. Awareness of sugar and alcohol content is key. Limiting consumption is the safest way to reduce risk. 13. Brandy. Brandy is distilled from wine or fruit, resulting in a high ethanol concentration. It is strongly linked to mouth, throat, esophagus, and liver cancers. Often consumed after meals, cumulative ethanol exposure can be high. Sweetened varieties further elevate cancer risk. Chronic drinkers are more susceptible to alcohol-related cancers. DNA repair mechanisms are compromised with frequent use. Brandy also affects hormonal balance and liver function. Acetaldehyde accumulation is significant even with moderate consumption. Chronic intake leads to inflammation, promoting tumor growth. Over time, cancer risk compounds due to repeated ethanol exposure. Awareness and moderation are critical for safety. Alcohol-free alternatives are the best choice. 14. Absinthe. Absinthe contains very high ethanol and herbal extracts like wormwood. Long-term consumption is linked to liver and digestive cancers. Poorly regulated batches may have toxic byproducts. High alcohol concentration accelerates acetaldehyde damage. Historically, absinthe drinkers often binge, compounding risk. Even occasional consumption can be dangerous if ethanol levels are extreme. Repeated exposure overwhelms liver detoxification pathways. DNA damage accumulates, increasing tumor formation likelihood. Herbal additives may add minor toxic effects. Awareness of ethanol concentration is crucial. Reducing or eliminating absinthe consumption is strongly advised. Choosing safer alternatives is the best preventative measure. 15. Porter and stout beers. Porter and stout beers are dark and rich, with high ethanol content. They also contain acrylamide, formed during roasting, which is a known carcinogen. Chronic consumption is linked to liver, esophagus, and digestive tract cancers. Their higher calorie content contributes to obesity, which indirectly raises cancer risk. Even occasional indulgence can increase acetaldehyde exposure over time. Antioxidants in these beers are insufficient to offset alcohol's harmful effects. Porters and stouts encourage prolonged drinking due to rich flavor. Repeated ethanol exposure accelerates DNA damage. Liver stress from chronic intake increases cancer susceptibility. Long-term risks are compounded by sugar and calorie content. Awareness and moderation are essential to protect health. Choosing lower alcohol options is the safest choice. If this video opened your eyes, like, share, and subscribe to spread awareness. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Reducing alcohol intake can dramatically lower cancer risk. Knowledge is power, and now you have the tools to make safer choices today.